Hi folks, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I'm painting a polar bear using watercolour and came up with the idea from watching a couple of YouTubers who are part of something called the Animal Artists Collective, which I'll tell you a bit more about in just a minute. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and if you're new around here, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon as well if you want to be notified as soon as I upload a new video. So I thought I'd take part unofficially today, as animal welfare is a subject close to my heart. And if you've not heard of it before, the Animal Artists Collective is a group of artists here on YouTube, which was founded by Jennifer Charlie from Jennifer Charlie Art and Denise Sodden of In Liquid Colour, as a platform for emerging artists to promote positive messages for animal welfare and conservation, and to connect artists to their communities. So I am gate crashing a bit, but taking part unofficially is allowed, and it's such a good cause, and who knows, maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to be a part of it officially. By promoting this video though, I'm hoping that some of you might go and check it out and show your support, if you don't already, by subscribing to their channels. And I'll put all their links to their channels in the description box below, so you can go and check those out. The original artwork they produce is sold, and at least 50% of the proceeds are donated to a non-profit animal conservation organisation. The Animal Artists Collective create artwork every other month based on a theme voted for by you on their Facebook page, and again I will link that in the description box as well. This latest theme is the poles, hence my painting a polar bear today. The collective also produces lots of useful information on the animal they've chosen to draw or paint to further increase awareness, so again please go and check that out. Now with all that said, let's get on with the painting, and today I began by swatching out some colours in my watercolour notebook, as I had a fairly simple colour palette in mind and just wanted to check that they all went together nicely. I chose yellow raw ochre as the main colour for the polar bear and planned on adding a bit of magenta in there as well to make a peachy colour for the slightly darker fur areas. I opted for a neutral tint instead of black for details on the polar bear's nose, a cobalt turquoise for the ice, and I lastly picked a sepia colour to add some contrast and depth to both the fur and the ice, and to hopefully pull the piece all together at the end. So I decided to work on the polar bear's nose and eye area first, using the neutral tint. So the neutral tint I'm using today is from the Winsor and Newton Professional range of watercolours and came in a 5mm tube, but I have added it to my Schmincke set of half pans as I find it really useful. It's described as a grey-black pigment and is made up of 3 different pigments: PB15, PBK6 and PB19, which gives it almost a purpley violet tone, which I really love, and it's opaque as well, so I thought it would work really well for the darkest areas of the polar bear's mouth and nose. I will list all the other supplies that I've used in this painting today in the description box below as well, if you want to go and check those out for yourself. So far as my aim for this piece, as I mentioned briefly at the start of this video, I wanted to go for a pretty limited colour palette, and despite being a polar bear on the ice, I still wanted to add some warmer colours too. I also really wanted to add some details to the various areas, but hint more at the textures rather than getting bogged down with rendering every last clump of fur in the polar bear's coat. And this is something that I'm personally working on at the moment, as I do tend towards overworking paintings in my effort to get them to look realistic. I think watercolour is a really lovely medium, and one that I'm enjoying experimenting with at the moment, and whilst it can be used beautifully to create super realistic paintings, sometimes less can be more, and watercolour can also be used to create some looser, more expressive artworks which might have less details but can be very emotive and show an artist's unique style. I also wanted to leave some of the white of the paper today, and so used a combination of the wet on dry and the wet on wet techniques throughout the whole of this piece. I also tended to work in layers, and whilst one layer was drying I'd move on to another area, and then I'd move back and forwards until I'd built up enough layers that I was happy with the result. So with the polar bear's face, this was the area that I was most worried about, all that fur. So to start with, I didn't really know what technique I was going to use, whether it be wet on wet or wet on dry, and despite having thought about the fur before I started the painting, I couldn't really decide, so ended up just kind of letting it happen. And because of my lack of decisiveness, I started off with a very dilute mix of that yellow raw ochre and just began by mapping out some of the direction of the fur, and as time went on I added darker values to build up what I hoped would be a convincing polar bear fur texture. I continued this rather spontaneous method for the rest of the coat, but let me know what you think in the comments box below. I have to say though, even though I was a bit worried about all that fur, I did really enjoy doing it, and I especially loved trying out this looser style and building up layers using those warm yellow tones and peachy tones as well. It's the sort of painting style that I think if I were to do it again on another day would come out entirely differently, and I kind of like that. It's refreshing, it's fun and unpredictable, and I'm really looking forward to practicing this style more in the near future. For the background and that ice texture, again it was something that I haven't really painted, if at all actually, in the past before, so I experimented with using almost a dry brush technique, so very little water and paint on my brush and no water on the background, so using almost the texture of the paper, and this is a cold pressed paper, so it did have a little bit of a tooth to it and kind of gave a nice result, I thought, especially for just the first layer, and I could build on that towards the end of the painting once that layer was dry. But moving on to the main body of the polar bear now, and again not really wanting to put too much detail in it, the only thing I was concerned with and did check my reference photo for was the direction and length of the polar bear's coat, so I didn't really worry too much about getting each clump of fur in the right place or anything like that, but I was conscious that I needed to be doing the right length of fur and have it in the right direction for it to look kind of realistic and true to life. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking trying something new, because I was also a little bit nervous about leaving quite so much of the white of the paper as well. And with watercolour it's always good to leave some of the white of the paper because you're never going to get it back, but in this painting I did leave, or felt like I left, quite a lot of it. It was also a little bit nerve-wracking using the sepia to put in what looked like some sort of unusual shapes on the top of his head, as you can see I'm doing now, but I think the fur is so thick on the top of the polar bear's head that you do get this almost clumping. So it was a bit nerve-wracking, but as the painting dried it did kind of leave an interesting result, and I didn't think it looked too bad. So on the whole I was happy with how it turned out. I was especially pleased with the nose and mouth area, and I did like the colours I chose, although I think I could have gone a bit bolder with the yellow raw ochre to make it a bit more dramatic, but was really conscious of not wanting to overwork it, that maybe I went the other way and underworked it. In any case, let me know if you liked it. Drop any comments or questions in the box below, because I do read and respond to all of them and really appreciate your support. To finish off this painting I just went in with a few more touches to the nose area, just adding a few hints of some darker hairs and that kind of thing, and darkening up the underside of his mouth and inside the mouth with a little bit of black, but I didn't want to lose sight of the nice neutral tint that I'd used, as I was quite pleased with how that had turned out. To finish off the ice ridges behind the polar bear I added some sepia. over the cobalt turquoise right next to the whitest parts to add contrast and help make the ridges look more three-dimensional. I then went back to the darker areas of ice underneath the polar bear's head and did the same, just adding a slightly darker neutral tint to add more contrast. Then a touch more colour to the top of the polar bear's shoulders, and this piece was finished. I hope you've enjoyed watching today. If you have, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to check out the artists from the Animal Artists Collective as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.